Nearly 70% of the world's cocoa is grown in West Africa, primarily in Ghana and Ivory Coast. The region's tropical climate, with consistently warm temperatures, high humidity, and high rainfall, makes it ideal for cocoa cultivation. Yet while this region produces most of the world's cocoa, the majority of profits from chocolate are earned elsewhere. Cocoa in West Africa is grown on small, family-owned farms, typically 2 to 4 hectares each, which is around 7.5 acres. Around 6 million farmers produce cocoa manually, providing income for over 4.5 million families. Farmers carefully hand-harvest the pods year-round to avoid damaging the fragile trees. But why is West Africa the centre of global cocoa production? Cocoa originally comes from Central and South America and was brought to Spain in the 1500s by Hernán Cortés from the Aztecs, where it became a valuable commodity. By the 1800s, European powers had established labour and export systems in West Africa to meet growing demand. These systems shaped the region's economies, connecting small farmers to global markets, a connection that still affects who benefits from cocoa production today. After cocoa is harvested by farmers in West Africa, part of the periphery in the global economic system, it is exported as a raw material to more developed core countries. In 2024, the largest exporter of cocoa was Ivory Coast, exporting about $4.87 billion worth of raw cocoa, which is 36% of the world's cocoa. However, the largest importer was the Netherlands, followed by countries like Malaysia, Germany, and the United States. Although countries like Ivory Coast grow the cocoa, core countries control the higher value stages of production. After export, the cocoa is processed into products such as chocolate and cocoa butter. Europe processes over 1/3 of the world's cocoa, and the Netherlands alone accounts for about 12% of global processing. This shows how core countries dominate manufacturing rather than raw production. The most profitable stage happens last: branding and retail. Large companies in core countries package, market, and sell chocolate in major stores. While the raw cocoa used in a chocolate bar may cost around 25 cents, the final product can sell for about $2. Although that price includes processing, transportation, and marketing costs, the highest profits are made at this stage of the supply chain for the retailers. In this graph, we can see that over 40% of the profit from cocoa products goes to retailers, while farmers earn only about 6.6%. Many cocoa farmers make only a few $1,000s per year, and some households earn around $1 per person per day, or roughly $2,400 annually. According to the International Labour Organization, low farm incomes in cocoa-producing regions are linked to ongoing child labour issues, as families struggle to survive. Overall, this reflects the core periphery structure described by Emanuel Wallerstein. Periphery countries export low-value raw materials, while core countries control processing, branding, and retail, where most of the profit is generated. Fair trade is a certification system designed to improve conditions for farmers in developing countries by guaranteeing minimum prices, enforcing labour standards, and providing community development premiums. Organisations such as Fair Trade International aim to reduce income instability within global commodity chains. Evidence shows fair trade can raise incomes for certified farmers. According to a fair trade study, the average annual household income for cocoa farmers in Ivory Coast increased from $2,670 in 2016 to $4,937 in 2021, an 85% increase. However, fair trade has limitations. Certification does not reach all farmers, and many producers remain outside the system. While it can improve incomes for participants, it does not fundamentally change the global core periphery structure that concentrates most profits in core countries. To evaluate whether fair trade promotes meaningful progress, development must be measured carefully. GDP, or Gross Domestic Product, measures the total value of goods and services produced in a country and is useful for tracking economic growth. However, GDP does not measure inequality, education, or overall quality of life. A broader measure is the Human Development Index, developed by the United Nations Development Programme, which combines income, education, and life expectancy. For example, Ghana has seen steady improvement in its HDI, rising from 0.445 in 1990 to 0.628 in 2023. However, when adjusted for inequality, its HDI falls by about 37%. This shows that economic growth does not always benefit everyone equally. Overall, fair trade promotes meaningful but limited progress. It improves income stability for certified farmers, but it does not fully change the global core periphery structure or reach all producers. True progress requires not only fairer prices, but broader improvements in education, health, and economic diversification. Progress should be measured using multiple indicators that account not only for economic growth, but also for inequality, education, health, and income distribution, in order to reflect improvements in overall human well-being rather than production alone.